That was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not.
Mary J Blige, who was a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling.
So it looks like we finally have confirmation that Diddy and Jay Z might have really planned Aaliyah's death all along, because Mary J Blige just shocked the hell out of all of us after an interview of her confessing to Aaliyah's death being a planned spiritual murder started going viral. At the time she first admitted this, Jay and Diddy worked overtime to get it taken down from the internet, and they pretty much threatened her into silence. But after Diddy's arrest, this interview came back up again, and things are not looking too good for them. There were already questions about Aaliyah's death, especially since they had to drag her up in order to put her on the plane anyway. But this revelation from Mary really confirmed everything. The crazy thing is that Mary was also a victim of Diddy, and she allegedly even had to terminate the pregnancy she had by him. So if anybody knows about the truth about Aaliyah's death, it's definitely her. Now, when it comes to Mary and Puffy's relationship, Mary was part of Diddy's infamous mentorship program, the Puffy Flavor Camp. And there were some rumors going around at the time that mentorship was not the only thing they had going on, because allegedly, Diddy was blowing her back out on the low and everybody knew about it. As if that wasn't bad enough, he also allegedly got her pregnant and then forced her to get rid of the pregnancy because he knew how messy things would have gotten when people found out he was cheating on Kim with Mary. One of the first people to spill the tea about this was Jaguar Wright, and according to her, not only did Diddy impregnate Mary, but he was also out here pimping her out during them freak-off parties, making her do all sorts of wild things in exchange for him to keep supporting her. Jaguar claims Mary was very much aware of the things that Diddy was doing to these girls, and that she was actually one of the people that Diddy used to force Cassie to freak off with against her will. Jaguar even went as far as describing Mary as the original Young Miami.
Mary J Blige got pimped too.
She been around the longest. She been around the longest. She the bottom. She the original Young Miami. That's why he always got a group. Yeah, the Kathy and the Carisha.
And how she got to know too. She knew all
the three of them. Diddy and Mary and Cass. And Mary grabbing Cassie by the wrist. As a grown woman, ain't no child.
Wait.
You dragging her around for?
Mary
said, standing over Carisha like, all right, now get ready for this Tootsie. Look at the pictures. Her and Diddy out. And Mary always grabbing on Cassie arm. Like she knew Cassie was finna run. Maybe she was. Maybe Mary J Blige is just a co-conspirator.
No.
She knows Diddy just about as well as anybody.
Who was the father of that baby that Mary aborted?
Oh, you talking about Diddy, baby?
I was just finna say it. Go and tell it, girl, because they wrote it, told me too. Yeah. She said it. That's what they said.
She the original Diddy doo-wop-bop.
Boo-bop-wop-wop, a-doo-bop-wop.
Did he make her get that abortion?
I'm sure he did. You know, he tried to kick it out. He got cheaper. As he got rich, he tried to kick one out, the little Asian girl. The Jenny O girl, the Gina. He said, the money, I'm just going to kick this. And we know he can kick.
But Mary's affiliations didn't just end with her allegedly helping Diddy pimp these girls out. She also witnessed Diddy and Jay Z plan the death of Aaliyah, and she confidently sat in front of a camera and admitted it herself. Now, when it comes to Diddy, it's unclear what exactly his motive was for wanting Aaliyah dead, since she and him ain't have no kind of relationship. But Jay Z, on the other hand, had multiple reasons for wanting her gone, and he recruited Diddy to help carry out that plan. It all went down in 2001 when Aaliyah was in the Bahamas shooting a music video. But the thing is, she had no business being in the Bahamas in the first place. They had originally planned to film the music video in Florida, but just a day before it was supposed to be filmed, the music video director, Hype Williams, decided to change the location and fly everybody out to the Bahamas to film. They successfully filmed the video, but once it was time for them to fly back to the US, that's when shady stuff started happening. Aaliyah reportedly hit up her friend Lenny Kravitz to send his jet to pick her up. But Hype was against that idea and insisted that he already booked a flight for them to go back. She did not feel comfortable getting onto the plane that Hype brought, but they drugged her up and put her on that plane while she was unconscious. Not too long after they got inside, the plane crashed and Aaliyah tragically died. A death that could have easily been avoided if they just listened to her and not put her on that plane. The shady thing is that Hype Williams himself conveniently didn't board that plane. And when people found out about this, they could not help but wonder why he didn't join her. Almost as if he knew something was gonna happen on that flight back home. What's even worse is that it was later revealed that the pilot was intoxicated and that he was not certified to fly the Cessna 402B and had been hired by a charter company a few days before the crash. The pilot had also been sentenced to probation for possession 2 weeks prior. It was also reported that the days leading up to the flight were filled with confusion and mistakes, including overweight cargo for her music video being delivered to the wrong Bahamian island, and multiple changes of which charter company would bring Aaliyah and her crew back to the US. When all this was revealed, there were only 2 names on people's mind as the potential killers. And that was Diddy and Jay Z, but especially Jay. You see, prior to Aaliyah's death, Jay wanted to get with her, but at the time, she was in a relationship with Dame Dash. So she refused. And even outside of that relationship with Dame, she just ain't have no interest at all in dating Jay. And he did not take that well. His ego was hurt real bad by this, and he got to acting crazy. Now, after Aaliyah died, Dave stopped being friends with Jay Z because Jay had the gall to do a joint album with R. Kelly even after it was revealed that R. Kelly had fake documents to get married to Aaliyah when she was just 15.
You know, the Fiesta remix and Not Guilty, you know, and doing that and hearing how those 2 singles came out, we would always toss the idea back and forth, but it was just an idea, like we can do a whole album together. And we creative people, so creative people create.
Dame also revealed that Jay used to invite Aaliyah over to his parties to try to seduce her, but she always felt unsafe and extremely uncomfortable around Jay.
Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. He was sending flowers and he was courting her.
Because the rumor originally was that you were connected to Jay.
Exactly. Jay and I were hanging out a lot. He's my homie. We had a lot of fun together, but we never dated.
Now, like I said before, after Aaliyah died in a plane crash, it was rumored that her death was sacrificial and orchestrated by the higher-ups, including Jay, R. Kelly, and of course Diddy. At the time, it sounded a bit wild, but Mary J Blige was not planning on letting Diddy and Jay get away with it. So she had done an interview a few days after Aaliyah's death and confirmed that it was indeed a planned murder. But according to Mary, this wasn't just a regularly planned murder. It was a spiritual one that was orchestrated to end Aaliyah's life way sooner and used her soul to boost the careers of some very powerful people.
My crew, you know, we put, you know, the style she gave everybody ribbons and this, I don't even know what to say. I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual, whether people know it or not, because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life, and it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. I believe it wasn't her time to go, because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, you know, your gut always warns you. That your gut never lies to you. And something like luggage and clothes and jury and all this madness that we worship is called false idols. We need to really look at the bigger picture right now.
And get this, y'all. Jaguar Wright also stepped into the chat and confirmed everything Mary said. However, she gave us even more details about what really went down and said it exactly how it is. Jaguar alleged that Aaliyah's death was planned by Diddy and Jay, and that Jay was the one who told Hype to put Aaliyah on the plane, knowing very well she wasn't gonna make it out alive. Jaguar claims the reason why Jay did this was because he was mad about Aaliyah choosing Dame Dash over him, and that he wanted her out of the way so Beyonce could thrive as a solo artist.
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment.
Jaguar also said Jay and Diddy paid off witnesses and made them sign NDAs so they wouldn't sing when the feds came asking questions. Jaguar claims a total of 25 people signed those NDAs, and as a result of this, Aaliyah's death wasn't properly investigated because nobody was talking.
You're speaking on something where you're saying, I wish that situation would be investigated further.
No, to be investigated. Period.
Period.
It was never investigated. Hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made a statement, and it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like
Why the would you need to sign a don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental?
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm going to ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul play? Right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident? There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out and recorded regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. What the would you need a don't ask for that? And Diddy had Hype Williams by the balls.
As usual, people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, it's not a conspiracy. When a well-known celebrity like Mary J Blige goes on national television and says that Aaliyah's passing was a spiritual murder, she said what she said. You don't gotta be spiritual to know what she's talking about, because everyone knew Aaliyah was not supposed to go on that plane and eventually be gone. She was the youngest out of all those people who boarded that plane. Her time wasn't up yet. Hype Williams played a huge role in what happened. He has completely disappeared from the limelight for years now. Another person said, Jay Z got her because she simply turned him down. Jay Z was jealous of Dame Dash. Hype Williams was the producer who got paid off for setting it up. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Mary J Blige exposing Jay and Diddy? And do y'all think the feds will reopen Aaliyah's case again after all this? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.